Hey guys, welcome to my conversation with your Alabama 1A, 4A, 285-pound state champion from Prattville Christian Academy, Aidan Cockrell. Aidan, how's that sound to you?
This is pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. You kind of
Yeah,
underselling it. It's pretty cool. It's okay.
yeah. I it's amazing. It's awesome.
Very cool. Very cool. So I actually, and for people who don't know, and we're going to get to some on the mat stuff in a second, but I've got to ask you this question, and that is, you're the first ever for Prattville Christian Academy.
Yep.
How does that feel?
That was probably more unreal that I'm the first ever, the whole 12-year history of our program, first ever. That's absolutely crazy to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
Well,
it
go ahead. You were going to say, I'm sorry.
well that it was me that was the first ever. That's making history, you know.
It is. And nobody
That's
can take that
insane.
away. Prattville
Yeah.
Christian Academy might have a four-timer in the future or whatever the case is, but you will always be the
Yeah.
first ever.
That's it's an honor. It's a humbling feeling a little bit too, because now you've set the bar and you want other people to go past it, you know?
Uh-huh.
So now
Yeah.
for every person that comes through the program now, you know, see if you can win too. See if you can win. See if we can, take a whole team. Something
Absolutely.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bar setter.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. So let's go off the mat first.
Mhm.
All right. So you and I, before we started this whole thing, you asked me who my favorite football team was, and I gave you my answer. And then you told me that you were a diehard Duke Blue Devil fan. How in the
Yep.
world do we sit in the middle of Alabama and we're a Duke Blue Devil fan?
Well, as a little kid, I'm a Crimson Tide fan, but I really liked Duke basketball early 2010s. And somewhere along the line, I decided I can't like Duke basketball and Alabama football. I got to pick one. So I decided I like Duke basketball more, so I'm going to be a Duke fan. And it
Well,
turns out Duke football is pretty okay.
yeah, well,
So,
they've gotten better than they were
yeah,
once upon a time. What was it about the early 2010s basketball team that like just sold it for you?
I love Kyrie Irving. I love Kyrie Irving. He's he's just awesome. Uh, and I'm actually a Celtics fan too. So a lot of Duke players have actually ended up on the Celtics. Jason Tatum is probably my favorite basketball player. So that was just cool. But I
Very
actually went to my first Duke football game this year when they played Troy in the Birmingham Bowl.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I'm actually planning on going to Troy. So that was even this is kind of weird. So
There you go. There you go. Are you gonna? I see you got PCA football on your thing. Are
mhm.
you gonna play football at Troy?
Oh, I'm not that good.
No.
I'm
Okay.
not that good.
Well, you never know. I don't know. So I
Yeah.
didn't know if maybe one time in the future you might be like lined up against somebody from Duke or something like that. So all right. So let's go with what is your favorite subject in school?
Ooh, does lunch count?
Sure. Lunch I think
Yeah.
lunch should count, shouldn't it?
Yeah. I think so.
Uh,
Uh, Probably though. Um, I am starting to like my anatomy class a lot.
okay.
Um, I'm trying to become a athletic trainer, so learning all about muscles and bones and how it all works is really cool. And before, I'd never liked science before, so this is actually kind of weird that that's my favorite.
No. Well, and I mean, but you're an athlete. You
Yeah,
understand that those relationships and how important
yeah,
they are. So that's cool. What
yeah.
about your least favorite?
Ooh, I would say I'm pretty good at it, but I do not like English at all. It
Okay.
it's I don't. I'm not a books guy. I used to be, but I I have too much ADD. I can't sit and read, so
I got you.
that's just hard.
I got you. How important on a scale of 1 to 10 is a really good teacher?
Ooh, like an 8 out of 10, or even maybe a 9.
So
I think
there's
if you have a good teacher, you can make almost any class pretty
yeah.
entertaining, pretty
There,
pretty enjoyable,
all
and
right.
a good teacher makes you want to learn.
I couldn't agree with you
Uh,
more. All right.
yeah.
So let's go to food. Sushi, yes or no?
No.
No.
Uh, I'm not. I don't like rice, which is my mom thinks I'm weird for that, but that's just that's
and,
something
and
I don't
and
like.
raw fish are not your thing.
No,
No.
no.
All right. Pineapple on pizza. Is that a thing or is that not a thing?
Oh, absolutely. I
100%. 100%?
200%. Pineapple is amazing on pizza.
Okay. All
So
right. Roller coasters. They a thing or they not a thing?
it used to be a no because I'm afraid of heights, but as I've gotten older, roller coasters are fun.
Okay. Okay. All right. If I gave you a time machine, would you go forward in time or back in time? You can only make it go one direction. Which one are you choosing?
Back in time, and I'm placing a lot of sports bets. A lot, a lot, a
So
lot of
what you're
sports.
gonna do is you're gonna make yourself a million, like be a billionaire, and
Yes, absolutely. I'm not telling anyone till in the future. So I, go through life normally. Once I'm out of school, I really don't even need to work because
because you'll know.
I've seen the last 20 March Madness champions.
There you go. All
So
right, man. You could be the first person to have a perfect bracket.
I wouldn't do that. It's a tradition for everyone's brackets to suck.
Well, you know what? Mine sucks this year, so there we go.
Uh,
All right. So before we go on to the mat, what? How about a flavor of ice cream? What's the favorite flavor?
ooh, it's interesting. Mm-mm. I really like anything with peanut butter. So like, I got a Dairy Queen, Reese's, anything like that that has peanut butter.
Okay. All right. All right. So let's jump on the mat, and I want you to take me back to when were you, or like what grade were you in, or how old were you when you started wrestling, and who convinced you to start wrestling?
Well, my dad convinced me. Probably, I think I was in either first or second grade,
Okay.
and I started because I thought it was like WWE. So I really wanted to be John Cena. It turns out that's not quite what it is, but I appreciate it more now. Yeah, bro, first or second grade.
All right. So when you walked in and there was no ring and there were no turnbuckles or anything else, were you like really disappointed?
A little bit, but I had just assumed when you went to the matches, that's where the rings were, and you just had to practice without them. So it took me a
I
minute to figure that out.
I got you. I got you. All right. Um so I want you to think back to that younger self, and if you were to give a little Aiden some piece of advice now about wrestling or whatever, what would that piece of advice be?
Hmm. Probably to forget some of the losses a little bit easier. So I used to hate losing. I still do a little bit. Hate losing more than I enjoyed winning. So I could win 10 matches, but that one loss is going to sit with me for 2 weeks.
Mm.
And so that kind of when I was much younger, it would spiral into more losses. Whereas now, I lose a match, time to get back focused.
So
So
how when did that change? How did you change it?
about about 10th grade, I realized about 10th grade, because I lost my first match of the season, and then I went down to W.S. Neal, and I ended up winning the Murder Creek Melee down there. And that's when I kind of realized, don't remember the lessons, the mistakes, and then forget the match. Move on. So
Yeah, no, it's a good piece of advice if you can remember to do it. Absolutely.
yeah.
All right, so let's go back to last year, and you draw, I mean, one of the best heavyweights, around in your state finals in Carson Hall, who's I think now at the Air Force Academy and so
Yeah.
on and so forth. Um, what was the mentality going in against someone who you knew how good he was? What was kind of the game plan? What were you trying to do? And then how did you feel kind of coming off the mat?
Going in, at least the day before, I was kind of just happy to be there. But over time, kind of you have to convince yourself that you're gonna win,
Hmm.
or you're not gonna wrestle your best, no matter what. So I'd kind of convince myself that if I can get it to the third, I I might be in better shape.
Hmm.
Because
Good.
that's I for the last 2 years, the main thing is conditioning. I'm gonna be in better shape than everybody. So I was thinking, get to the third period, and we'll see what happens. And coming off the mat, I was devastated for about 15 minutes, and then it was still an amazing feeling that I'd got farther than than anyone at my school had.
Yeah,
So
you were the first ever finalist for PCA. So,
mhm.
um, and so what was the plan coming off that you said I need to do this so that I win it next year?
I just knew I had to keep. I couldn't slack off. I couldn't get out of shape, or think, oh, I was here last year, I'm just going to be back here. Just continue working, because now everyone's looking at you as the next guy up. So
Yeah.
you need to maintain what you did and then improve.
So was there pressure?
Oh, a ton of pressure. A lot. I think mostly self-imposed, but I
Hmm.
I could kind of feel. Yeah, a lot of people would pass me in the hallway. You're going to win it next year. I'm like, yeah, and it gets to you, but keeping a level head is very important.
So coming in to this year, I was a little surprised that you weren't the one seed, that you had beaten Benefield at sectionals.
Hmm.
I'm right, right?
Yeah.
That is okay. And you drew the same side as McCarthy, which was fine. I like to see the South versus the North kind of matchups and those sorts of things. Did not getting the one seed kind of surprise you and motivate you? What was that?
Definitely. I actually saw the seating. I was watching the Super Bowl, um, and I saw the seating, and I kind of just didn't care about the game I was watching more. I was mad because I thought I'd proven that I at least earned the two, or I mean the one, but at least the two. And I felt like people are looking down. They're not giving me my credit, and I'm gonna prove them wrong.
And you did. And you did. Although I will say you had some tough matches.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. So you got I think, a fall in your first match. And then you beat McCarthy, what, 2-1? Was that right?
I believe it's 2-1.
So I think you got a reversal in the third that actually
Hmm.
gave you the win. Um, so what was the feeling like as far as the difference between walking in to the state finals as a junior and walking into the state finals as a senior?
As a junior, I was happy to be there. I obviously wanted to compete to win, but I didn't think I'd get as far as I would. But as a senior, this is it. I've worked for the last 5 years. This is what I was meant to do. This is it. This is everything. So
And you had
big. big perspective shift right there.
Yeah. And you had Benefield in the finals, who you had beaten the previous week. So really confident?
Really, really confident, but not cocky. Definitely knowing he's really good. He's gonna be good next year if he keeps with it. But that if I wrestle the way I know how, if I do what I've done all year, he's not gonna beat me.
And he didn't. And the question that I have for you is as you were getting your hand raised, were you thinking, whew, I did it? Or yeah, exuberance, or were you thinking about like people that like helped you get to that point? Were you thinking about being the first in PCA? What was going through your head?
Well, when the match ended, I wasn't even sure I had won because I didn't know if they had given me the reversal. So then I stood up and I was kind of ready to go to overtime. And I looked at my coach and he's thrilled. Everybody's yelling. And I realized that I'd won. And it was like the biggest wave of joy. I was so happy. And it was a lot of relief, just a lot of pressure came off my shoulders. And I was just so happy though, mostly.
Very, very cool. All right. So this is the last question. It's the question I've asked everyone, and that is why wrestle? Why is wrestling special to you?
It's a tough man sport. The tough you can be any body type, any size, any age, and you can win with putting in the work and being tough. So I'm not the most athletic kid out there, but it's always something where if I work harder than the next guy, I can win.
And there you go. All right. Well, Aiden, congratulations on your state title. Congratulations on being PCA's first state champion. That's going to make you feel super good. I want to wish you the best of luck in the future. And yeah, man, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.